He was just a simple man, living in a small town forgotten by time, where faith was all that remained when money was gone. Every day he left early, searching for temporary work, carrying in his heart the weight of unpaid bills and broken promises. Life was hard, silent, without much hope. Still, he prayed. He prayed because it was the one thing no one could take from him. And it was on one of those ordinary mornings that everything began to change. The crisis at home had worsened that week. The empty refrigerator, overdue rent, and the feeling of failure as a provider consumed him from the inside. He avoided looking his family in the eyes, feeling small before so many problems. The dilemma felt impossible, choosing between paying the electricity bill or buying food. His chest tightened, and his faith was tested like never before. Even so, he decided to walk and pray in silence. That was when, beside a dusty and deserted road, he heard a sound that pierced his soul, a low, weak cry, almost without strength. As he approached, he saw an abandoned dog, thin, dirty, trembling with fear and cold. The animal's eyes carried the same pain he felt in his own heart. It was as if two broken lives had met in a place forgotten by the world. He knelt down without knowing why. The man felt a deep emotional conflict. He could barely take care of his own family. How could he help that dog? Reason told him to move on, but something stronger held his feet in place. The dog's crying sounded like a silent plea for help. He thought of God, thought of Mary, and tears flowed uncontrollably. For the first time in a long while, he spoke a desperate prayer out loud. The road remained empty. The wind blew hard and the dog's cries grew weaker. The man felt he was facing a choice that would change everything. That simple moment hid something greater, something he could not yet understand. With a heavy heart and fragile faith, he made a silent request to heaven. He had no idea that this scene of pain was the beginning of an impossible transformation. As he remained kneeling beside the dog, the wind suddenly stopped, as if time itself had paused. The silence became deep, unlike anything he had ever felt. Then he sensed a gentle presence behind him. Slowly, turning around, he saw a woman dressed simply, surrounded by an unexplainable peace. Her face radiated compassion and mercy. His heart raced without understanding why. The woman approached slowly and looked directly at the abandoned dog. Her eyes filled with tenderness, like a mother seeing her child suffer. Then she spoke calmly and firmly, asking only something simple. Take care of him, even if it's just a little. There was no judgment, no demand, only a request filled with love. The man felt warmth in his chest and a peace he had never known. Strange details began to stand out. The woman's clothes did not gather dust from the road. Her feet touched the ground without making a sound. The dog, which had been crying nonstop, suddenly fell silent and began wagging its tail. The man tried to ask who she was, but no words came out. Something inside him knew she was not an ordinary person. His heart recognized what his mind could not yet grasp. Suddenly, the woman smiled gently and took a step back. A soft glow surrounded the place for a few seconds. When the man blinked, she was gone. There were no footprints, no sign anyone had been there. Only the dog, now calm, gazing toward the sky. A chill ran through his body, and tears streamed down his face. At that moment, something extraordinary happened. The dog, who could barely stand before, rose firmly to its feet. Its eyes were different now, full of life. A deep certainty formed inside the man. He had been visited by the Virgin Mary. the pain of that place began to turn into hope. The first sign had been given, and nothing would ever be the same again. The next day, reality returned like a storm. When he arrived home with the dog, he learned that his only temporary job had been canceled. Bills continued to pile up, and the renewed faith was immediately tested. Fear tried to take over. He wondered if everything had been imagined in desperation. Still, something inside him remained firm. That afternoon, the dog showed weakness again. Panic set in, and the man feared losing him so soon. With no money for a veterinarian, he did the only thing he knew. He knelt and prayed. He repeated the words he had heard on the road, asking for strength to care, even if it was just a little. Then a neighbor, known for never getting involved with anyone, knocked on the door. Without knowing anything, she brought dog food, blankets, and simple medicine. She said she had felt a strange urge to help. The man was speechless. That unexpected help felt like a direct answer to his prayer. Soon after, another sign appeared. The dog began to recover rapidly, eating and walking better every hour. On the dog's neck, the man noticed a small heart-shaped mark he had never seen before. It became a symbol, a silent proof of what had happened. His heart trembled as he remembered the woman's gaze. With a full heart, the man knew he was not alone. The encounter had not been imagination. The help, the dog's recovery, and the signs confirmed the divine presence. He began sharing the story, afraid some would not believe. Deep down, he knew. The Virgin Mary had confirmed his mission. In the days that followed, unexpected changes occurred. An old acquaintance appeared, offering paid work. Simple, but enough to buy food and pay part of the bills. The man recognized it as the first financial solution after so much suffering. Gratitude filled his heart. At the same time, the dog's recovery amazed everyone. The animal now ran joyfully through the yard. The family, once silent and worried, began smiling again. The dog's presence brought peace into the home. Faith was no longer just prayed, it was lived. The story spread among neighbors and relatives. Many visited just to see the dog and hear the testimony. Some cried, others asked for prayer. A local religious leader affirmed sensing something special in the story. The man realized his pain was healing others. A woman suffering from deep depression prayed there and later returned saying she had regained the will to live. That was the first confirmed healing. Silence fell as everyone felt something sacred happening. The man understood the blessings were not only for him. Each problem solved, each restored smile confirmed divine care. The Virgin Mary's presence seemed constant. Sadness had turned into hope. Weeks later, testimonies multiplied. People from nearby areas came seeking hope. The dog approached each one gently, as if recognizing their pain. What was simple became greater. The man never saw himself as special. He repeated the same message. Care, even if it's just a little. Others followed. A network of help formed naturally. Faith spread heart to heart. Volunteers began helping animals and families. The once abandoned dog became a living symbol of hope. Collective help reached forgotten places. New miracles were reported. An elderly man regained strength. A single mother found work. The Virgin Mary's name was spoken with reverence. The mission grew, guided only by faith. Eventually, structure became necessary. A small community organization was formed. Volunteers took roles. A simple space near the church became a place of prayer and service. The mission gained regional recognition. Leaders visited. Everything remained simple and responsible. The encounter on the road remained its heart. When regional crises struck, faith was tested again. Collective prayer intensified. Cures and transformations multiplied. Media attention followed. Invitations came from other cities and countries. Authorities reviewed testimonies carefully. After long discernment, the mission received official recognition as a work of faith and charity. A blessed sacred symbol was given as confirmation. Years later, the man prepared others to continue the mission. New generations learned that everything began with simplicity. The dog story became eternal. One day, the man returned to the deserted road. In silence, he felt peace. In prayer, he understood he had never been alone. The mission's impact was undeniable. Before leaving, he left a simple message. Faith is born in small acts, and Mary watches over those who cry by the roadside. The lonely cry had become eternal joy. Faith is revealed in simplicity. If this story touched your heart, do not ignore the one who suffers beside you. Share, help, pray, and write in the comments, "I believe."